on monitors. This is fresh to go. I love the look of this menu. I love it as a competitor. But here we go. Speaking of competitors, we got game number 1 here on Pokemon Stadium 2. Starting off with, we have different competitors up here. Sen as Sephirot and tshirt as Captain Falcon.
Interesting.
And with some other cool picks in the back here.
All right, two very different appeals between Sephirot and Captain Falcon. But
Yes.
my goodness, the game starts off a lot more aggressive than I would have expected.
Especially because you have like one kind of long-range character, like yes, because Captain Falcon's gonna be going for more aggressive. But Sephirot with all the stabbing moves, all the strongest hits are at the tip of the sword. He wants to keep a little bit more space, but Falcon is going to find a way to get in there and get him onto his other characters.
Yes, as long as you can read the movement, you can keep him out just fine. But Captain Falcon rushes you. He shakes you. That's a quarterback coming in at full speed.
They're keeping very even right now, and it's interesting to look at the other characters they have behind them, with tshirt also holding on to Wolf and Palutena, so I feel like he has a pretty good aggressive kind of kit, where Sen has basically two other Final Fantasy 7 characters, Cloud and Pyrometro.
It's just like we said, there's a lot of personality you can immediately read off of the character selections. My goodness. I'm so happy to see Squad Strike as a major event here. I know it's a side bracket, granted, by name alone.
But it's not every day
speaking.
you get it on like the main stage, like on BTS Smash. Like not just one, but there's 4 streams here you can watch. But this is the one we're watching right here, and it's awesome to see. Just like this is the spotlight for it. This is what we all get to see all of those different mains and characters coming out to play.
My goodness, I'm actually shocked that didn't kill him. Granted,
Right?
Sephirot is one of the lightest characters in the game, which is hilarious to consider.
I really like the edge guarding here, utilizing the one wing for the extra double jump to cover everything with the forward air, with the neutraler, and getting the stock to bring out Wolf here. Let's see what he can do.
You're always ready for a character with multiple jumps, but when they have conditional multiple jumps, you just seem to forget. It's so much easier for it to slip your mind.
I always forget that Sephirot's going to have that second jump, but right now when he has it, and I was like, it's a good thing. I like Sephiroth being first here, because when you get that one wing, better than him being like your anchor character, because now he gets to fight against Wolf with the one wing the entire time.
That's the beauty of both DLC and comeback mechanics. They're not always comeback mechanics. Sometimes they're, bigger advantage mechanics. They're rolling mechanics.
Speaking of DLC, though, we got a big one coming right here. Mythra starting off with this one. We're going to get the damage with the speed, see what we can get onto the Wolf, and I'm sure we'll see Pyro and after a little bit, maybe like 60% or so, to get those early kills on Wolf.
I really love that it took a minute for her to drop in. I'm like, downloading, give her a minute. The downloadable content is on the way.
$5.99.
All right, let's see here, though. The $5.99 kit, there's one thing that everybody is always debating about, and it's they think that she's a top tier character, or they'll think she's a high tier character, and it always completely dependent on her recovery.
Yes.
They all have a huge debate going on whether, oh my goodness, that's their Achilles heel, and if that is enough of a weakness to drop them a few tiers.
It's one of those things where it's like they definitely have the recovery on the probably lower half, maybe lower 2/3 of the cast, but they make up for it so well otherwise. Between Mythra's frame data on stage or Pyra, look at how hard these moves are going to hit. And Wolf's a little bit heavier too. It's not going to matter here with Pyra on screen.
Yeah, in fact. All right, coming in, we're looking at somebody that wants to kill immediately. That's why Pyra's on the deck at the moment. But ooh, it's looking like an ugly situation. But was it down air?
Just this raw down air out there. Why not? All right, we got 2 queens going on. We're back to Mythra here with the frame data, with the speed, but can it get through Palutena's Nair? That's the biggest question here.
The hair with the long... actually, when I think about it, I was talking about Palutena's hair for a moment in my head, and I said, wait, oh no, Sephiroth would be the real contender. We already lost him. But all right, down to your last. It shouldn't be too much to dispatch of this character at 133%. Because even like a back throw that didn't kill would put them in a terrible disadvantage off stage.
Yeah, we've got Pyra here. Looks like the Mythra wasn't able to get in too well there. I like Palutena, how she has a lot of bigger kind of physical hitboxes. Well, I mean, yes, contesting with a sword, sure, but once you get one hit with Palutena there, it's going to lead to so many more things that I feel like Sen was just having issues there with that. But let's see if the Pyra can do it, but not yet. We are on to Cloud versus Palutena.
Yeah, landing that back air is tricky, and that makes it very difficult to kill with Palutena consistently. Oftentimes, you'll be seeing characters live from anywhere from 170 to 210 at times, just because that forward air will never seal the deal, and that back throw is something that people are just too conscious of to fall for it.
Yeah. We spoke a little bit about this before the set with other characters and players, but here we have a sword character versus somebody with projectile. So we're going to see how how tshirt is going to keep a little bit more distance here. You've seen some the homing attacks and stuff like that, but is it going to be enough to get more damage? Barely!
Yes, that was optimal distance for sure. But unfortunately the auto reticle goes just above his pretty blonde head.
And a clean pop-off there for Game 1. Let's go. All right, so if we're looking into Game 2 here, was there anything you'd like to see on either player with the order of their characters? Do you think Sephiroth handled well first, or do you think I don't know. Maybe Palutena should come earlier to kind of contest some of that.
You had a tremendous point when it came to Sephirot's comeback mechanic turning into like a higher advantage mechanic. Because in the worst case, it would be a good to lead with that so that you didn't fall behind too far.
You can't keep him third. It has to be first or second, especially first.
And like in the worst possible case, that means you're never going to get wing. And if you're doing that well, then don't worry about it. So I think Sephirot in front is probably the move.
Yes.
Not to mention he has the best recovery amongst them, so he's probably going to last the longest.
Good point. I like that a lot. Yeah, Sephirot, lock for first, 100%.
Yeah. But then we have the other two, right? This guy's no stranger to sword characters with poor recoveries. And he's also not afraid of it from what it seems.
Yep.
He maintains stage control almost effortlessly.
You
But
see
okay,
the
Palutena
emotion
is the
here.
lead this time, isn't it? No. Is it top to
so
bottom?
they can change. So they pick it here, but then they can also like do like a little bit of a shadow pick too, where after this screen you get to hit the up, left, right to pick who goes what order.
Is that right?
And I don't know if Tio's have ever like really thought about just like how that works into the rule sets. I think it's just kind of like free for all.
Man. How many of you have, how long has it been since everybody at home has seen this screen?
Some of the locals in Michigan run it. I've entered it once or twice, but you know, it's fun when it's there. I still miss more doubles in our local scene, but either way.
Oh man, come to DFW, we got plenty. The D in DFW stands for doubles.
We did get a little bit of a roster mix-up here on t-shirt side. We have the same characters, but a swapped order. Wolf, who was second before, is going to come out first, and his Captain Falcon, I'd say, probably did the best out of those three characters last time. Now he's going to have Falcon on the anchor, especially against a worse recovery of
the
Cloud.
tail end,
I like that too.
He has a much better chance against somebody with a smaller sword. Granted, it's not much smaller, but
if he gets like one off stage with Nair or like up B or something, though, that's going to be it for Cloud. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. But what do you think about the Wolf versus Sephiroth matchup? That's kind of interesting how I think it could work out.
Yeah, I think it could too. I think he's going to have a lot more opportunities to kill, and not to mention he can impress him more with the laser, which Falcon doesn't have access to, even though he, has the gun on his side.
If he has issues with the range, which I think he did a little bit last game, now he has the laser kind of act as that crush to kind of bring in Sephiroth, get him outside of his comfort zone and into his own.
Yes, exactly. Like, Sephiroth's counter is tremendously powerful, but not against really short and, like, quick projectiles that you can immediately, like, impress them from after shooting it.
Yes.
It's, like, not going to be of much use to him in this matchup, so Wolf is going to mostly dominate the neutral, especially since he doesn't need to approach. Granted, he has the lead.
Yes. Now, speaking about that lead and who's down and up right now, do remember that despite Sephiroth being this tall, wearing some heavy clothing right now, he's actually a bit of a lighter character. So at 144, he is screaming against Wolf. One, proper hit, he's hella gone.
Yeah, for certain. And one winged angel finds his way back to heaven.
So that comeback mechanic, I don't see
About that
more.
comeback mechanic.
Yes, I think the comeback mechanic was PayPal.com right now. So.
I think that comeback mechanic cost $5.99.
But you get two characters for the price of one.
Precisely.
In a three-character roster, that's a hell of a deal.
Imagine the advantages. But wow, this Wolf is actually putting in a lot of work. I think the order made all the difference. You're right.
Who did the Wolf lose to in game one? I forget. Was it the Pirate Mithra back then?
Well, it is that this game.
It is now, but it put in so much work in the last game. I think that alone changes the story so much here. And we're not even to the Falcon, which I think was the best pick of his last game.
And with this much of a lead, or, not like this much of a lead, there's not much. But with this competitive of a game, it's going to come in really handy at the end.
So I talked about how Mithra is so fast, has that frame data, and with Palutena having projectiles, what I like about the projectiles here, especially with the homing reticle there, is that since it starts in front of Palutena, you can kind of catch dash-ins from Mithra really well. So if Mithra is far away and you want to keep her at bay, throw out the homing reticle, and it's going to hit not just where they are, but also where they're going to stop those dash-ins.
Oh, absolutely. And let's not forget, that's the one thing a Mithra player wants to do is dash in.
Oh, yes.
That dash attack hits you before the game even hits start.
Dash in, down tilt, up tilt, nair, anything you want, but we need a little bit more here because Palutena's still sitting pretty healthy at 32%, but gets back on stage to see if we can get a little bit more, but Palutena gets the grab, follow-up, not quite.
With these two characters selected from the last game, it's a complete reversal. It's a mirror from the percents.
I love it. It's preventing all the dash-ins. We just need a kill move now, but here we go. Pyro, if I'm not mistaken, is a little bit heavier than Mithra too, so...
I think they're the same weight.
They might be.
Perhaps.
Okay. But at least the recovery is worse, though, because Mithra has the double recovery with the side B and the up B.
True.
However,
But Pyro's actually will have one advantage, though. The distinct one is that it snaps faster.
This is true. Good point.
It's very important for some characters in like some matchups. Oh my goodness, but don't worry about anything in regards to recovery.
And even like a taller stage ceiling down in City, that is a little bit of a higher ceiling compared to others on the stage.
That upper packs a wallop. All right.
Here we go. Let's keep the Nair train going. Not yet, but I think the biggest tool here that Cloud is going to potentially have is up Bs at a shield, because at some point Palutena has to come in, and usually the grabs are going to come from ledge situations, not raw and neutral, but we'll see if he can get a little bit more out of here, because Palutena, do a good up smash or something, like good golf swing, she's going to be flying out of here just
even like
that
a good down tilt, and that Gimp is for free.
True.
There's a lot of problems when it comes to Cloud versus off stage against Palutena. No, thank you. Oh, and that was a really good cross line. Well placed.
Here we go. This is what we've waited for since the beginning, though. It's that #1 Captain Falcon to see if he can really change the story here against Cloud. A little bit more hits here. Cloud's recovery is going to be hurtful here. Let's see if he can keep that pressure on the edge to keep him off stage.
He's got every option you can dream of to seal the stock. He's got all of the gimping tools off stage, the better recovery, the buffed recovery at that. And on stage, up smash, baby.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was frightening, though.
Looking for something. If he gets one good down there to the ledge like that, that could be huge. And with limit right now, though.
Ooh,
okay.
I love the way the t-shirt was playing there for a moment, though. Like, I'm going to stay out of your threat bubble and maintain this for 15 seconds, and everything will be fine. Unfortunately, however, he's proven that he knows exactly where to place those cross slashes. Twice in a row at that.
Whoa! This is looking good for Falcon there, and he gets it. We're going to game 3.
That had to have been stage dependent, right?
On Tana City, I think especially yes.
Yeah. But he DI'd it flawlessly. That was like a DVD into the corner of the screen. My goodness, bro.
All right, so we saw one player change the order. The other character didn't, and when they changed the order, they won. Are we going to see a change the order counter pick, perhaps? I think we're going to stick with the same 6 characters across the board, but that order is going to be so key here right now. And plus, it's like it becomes almost like a mind game where it's just like, are they going to change back to how they were at game 1? Are they going to keep it this with it? I can counter pick that.
Or are they just going to wiggle their stick and hope?
This is true. Yes. Oh, we got new characters. We got Kazuya.
Ooh, interesting.
Who's leaving the lineup? Is it going to be Cloud? We lost the Palutena. I'm sorry. No, Palutena was on the other side.
We lost the Sephirot.
We lost the Sephirot.
I see the distinction there, right?
Yes.
He's one step away from having green hair. He already bleached. He's almost there. But all right. They said there's only enough shampoo for one of us, so I'm going to have to retire him for the moment. But replacing him with Kazuya.
I liked the Sephiroth of game 1. It didn't do as much game 2, but that could have been the order. Maybe could have seen a slot 2 Sephiroth.
Yeah, that wolf cleaned up.
It all depends on how good his Kazuya is. This character's only been around for a couple months here, so you can also be playing on like matchup knowledge here. Yeah. And when you have secondaries and tertiaries, they're not going to be ready for those like new matchups.
Yeah, when I see a Kazuya, I don't expect them to have any secondaries.
Yeah.
So this is going to be difficult. Or at the very least, you would have had to dedicate a lot of time to Smash, more so than an average person, to have a Kazuya on top of other characters.
Right.
There's no room.
T-shirt's been playing pretty decent so far with keeping range with projectiles. However, Sen got a little bit of opening there, but remember, he has tools like his, was it up tilt or up smash is the reflector, so he can shoot back those laser blasts.
My goodness.
He can invincible dash through things. He has so many different options, a lot of them that people forget about because of matchup experience.
We're going to need to go back to that Sakurai special and just figure everything out once more time.
Gosh, we got 40 moves here. Which one is which?
At times, I literally just have to give up and just go, you know, he got hit. It was something.
It looked like he had problems there trying to convert from a platform kill, though. So which is interesting about PS2 is that we got about like a third of the stage.
Yeah.
What's gone already? I can't even finish my talk about platforms.
Don't worry about it. He didn't even make it to that platform that time. But gracious, yeah, the easiest conversion, maybe not the easiest, but the most consistent that I've seen is anything leading into up B.
Anything up B.
Yes. That thing has a huge hitbox, and it starts almost around his like shin area. Oh my goodness! And again with the platform struggle, but who cares? You already got 72.
We're not getting the links I feel like the Sakurai kind of intended, but we're getting a really cool like smash custom combo here. I'm seeing like his positioning while he's not getting the right links out of the moves, the rolls he's doing after to kind of keep the positional advantage around the stage. Not to mention the auto turnaround from Kazuya. I think his stage presence right now, utilizing the stage. Which
oh, the up B again! My goodness!
It's perfect.
Wow, Kazuya, we had doubts.
Where was this game 1 and 2?
No longer. Maybe it was just the safer pick. He said, I don't have confidence yet. Did I lab enough yesterday? Apparently so. Because even the combos that don't kill are doing up to 100.
Right? That, or maybe you just want to try and win squash like with a secondary, tertiary, and quadrary?
That actually, like, it's like quadrary.
Okay.
I have it written down, actually. So I was really curious.
We've got the rage here coming up, so if he uses it within a certain amount of time, he gets an additional move here. There it goes. Look,
the rage drive.
Oh
my goodness, this is such a different game. Right. So much less competitive. What's going on?
Triple laser!
Special beam cannoned right out the side blast zone, and goodbye.
Actually, like...
My goodness gracious.
Okay.
Goku didn't even have to hold him for you. All right, wow. That was a huge change of pace. He went from like second gear all the way to fifth in an instant. That was bonkers.
He won game 1, popped off, lost game 2, and then just 3-stocked him casually
Don't
game 3.
worry about
the character we hadn't seen yet.
That was just absolutely, like, my brain is blown out.
We got to see 7 different characters in that one set alone, too.
Man,
like, think of it that way.
This is overwhelming, and we've only seen one set.
Wow.
And so we continue. We truck along. Do we know who's coming next? That's the question.
I'm going to see if we can get a link from the Smash GG stream queue coming up in just a moment, because what I had before, we did get a little bit of a different mix-up there, so we're going to hold tight for now, see what we're going to get coming up, and then during that game I will try to do some research and find out what's going to be coming up next in the exact order. But gosh, after that first set, it doesn't matter what's coming up. We're going to be surprised either way.
Absolutely. So, like Squad Strike, the mode itself is full of surprises.
Yes.
From the order to like the characters that they select, and then going in, you just really can't get a read on anything, because like you expect a matchup to be so straightforward, but as soon as a character switch happens, the moment they lose the stock, you're like, well, this could go either way now.
We are sitting back here, and people always think like commentators always have to do their homework, figure out the characters and whatnot. But when you're a player in a Squad Strike, that the amount of homework you have to do to truly win a bracket, if you're just not going to go autopilot and try to beat people, like you can figure out people's mains or see who they sit down and pick on game one. But with mix-ups like those and different orders, it's like anything can happen. And plus, at a major too, with national competition all across the world, even
here we are. Majors are back.
I never expected a Kazuya pick, and that was you love to see it.
It was actually just insanity. It makes you wonder again why he didn't just bust it out to begin with.
Playing with those training weights on. Took him all special beam cannon. Let's go.
We'll keep it up. All right. My goodness. I'm still just looking at this